From the Nuremberg trials, Mr. Ernst Yanning.
I wish to testify about the Fellenstein case, because it was the most significant trial of recent German history. It is important not only for the War Crimes Tribunal, but also for the whole of the German people. But to understand it, one must understand the period in which it happened. After World War I, a fever took over the land. A fever of disgrace, a fever of indignity, a fever of hunger. We had a democracy, yes, but it had torn elements within. But most importantly, there was fear. Fear of today, fear of tomorrow, fear of ourselves, fear of our neighbors, fear of fear, fear of everything. Only when you understand this can you understand what Hitler meant to us. Hitler told us, be proud to be German. Hold your heads high. There are devils among us. Gypsies, Jews, communists, liberals. When we destroy these devils, we will destroy our misery. It was the old tale of the sacrificial lamb. The communists, liberals, Jews, and gypsies were slandered by the daily media. Every line twisted against the minority. And when the minority spoke out, the media simply said, see, we told you they were violent and could not be trusted. The innuendo twist sold papers, and the uneducated and ill-informed were driven to fear. What about those of us who knew better? What about those of us who could see through their lies? Why did we sit silent? Why did we take part? Because we loved our country. And if we protested, the officials and the media would have said we were unpatriotic. If you protest, you must not love your country. We were threatened with defamation if we did not blindly support the government against the internal enemy. We were told to hate people we did not even know, to judge people guilty without any evidence, to scorn people without any reason. Media contorted and manipulated our fear. What difference does it make if a few political extremists lose their rights? What difference does it make if a few religious minorities lose their rights? It was only a passing phase, a stage we were going through. It would all be discarded sooner or later. Hitler himself would be discarded sooner or later. The country is in danger. We will march out of the shadows. We will move forward. Forward was the great password. A few individuals will need to be conveniently sacrificed, but we will move forward. And history tells us how we succeeded, Your Honor. We succeeded beyond our wildest expectations. We succeeded beyond everyone's wildest expectations. The very elements of hate and power about Hitler that mesmerized Germany, mesmerized the world. We suddenly found ourselves with powerful allies. Things that had been denied to us as a democracy were open to us now. And the world said, go ahead. Take it. Take it. Take the Sunderland. Take the Rhineland. Revitalize it. Take all of Austria. Take all of Hungary. But one day we looked around and we found ourselves in an even more terrible danger. The contagious fear that began in this courtroom swept over the land like a raging, roaring disease. Xenophobia filled the hearts of stupid people, so easily manipulated by fearfulness. People were terrorized by the media. What began as a passing phase became a way of life. It is not easy to tell the truth. But if there is to be any salvation for Germany, we who know our guilt must admit it. Whatever the pain or humiliation, I am aware of the truth. I had reached my verdict on the Fellenstein case before I had ever stepped into the courtroom. I was compelled to be patriotic. I would have found him guilty whatever the evidence. I had given in to the social pressure.
Your Honor, I must interrupt. The defendant is not aware of what he's saying. He's not aware of the implications.
I am aware. My counsel would have you believe we were not aware of the concentration camps. We were afraid of being accused as unpatriotic, fearful that any protest would make the conservative masses attack us, petrified to try and express simple human values to a stubborn public. Hate became the norm, discrimination a way of life. Some of these conservative people gave Hitler more power than anyone could ever imagine. They seemed to feed on the hatred and killing. This became a contagious sickness. The government's power was so immensely intimidating. We just wanted to live our lives and do our jobs. We did not want to be responsible. We were aware but frozen in disbelief. We were swept up by the frenzy. Afraid of action, we tried to ignore the unstoppable acceleration of hate, xenophobia, discrimination, bigotry, intolerance, and prejudice. This fear-based power was rapidly growing out of control. This freight train of hate fear progressively gripped us in Germany. Extremists fed extreme reactions, and they did not tolerate compassion or peaceful thinking. Fear breeds fear. Hate can only breed hate. We had given our power to people who believed in killing. We had given everything to psychopathic killers who thought it was okay to kill even innocent children. They used patriotism to defend themselves. So here we are. President Truman has tried to put the German people on trial, to find out why, to find out how. But in doing so, he has put all of humanity on trial. Because everywhere, normal people must make a stand against psychopathic killers and their bigotry and hate. These psychopaths can appear intelligent, and slowly you accept hatred of people you don't even know. You judge people you've never met. These psychopaths can appear so normal, and very gradually you start to tolerate killing. They divert attention from themselves by pointing out that other people kill as well, as if other people's killing could justify their killing. These psychopaths can appear so helpful, and bit by bit you start to acquiesce to killing. Fear led people to forget killing is killing. This could happen anywhere. But here we are, in Germany. This is where our bodies lived. But where were we? Where were we when Hitler began shrieking his hate and twisted prejudice? Where were we when the media insinuated distrust? Where were we when innocence became guilty? Where were we when killing became a way of life? Where were we when our neighbors were being dragged off in the night to death camps? Where were we when every village in Germany has a railway station with cattle cars being filled with innocent children taken to their extermination? Where were we when they were crying out in the night for us? Were we deaf, dumb, blind?